Hi everybody, good morning, happy Sunday. This is Maria Abanga. Maria Abanga, your therapist, Maria Abanga, your motivational speaker, Maria Abanga, every other woman. Uh, one second, please. I hope you can see me. I don't know if the sitting position is good or if the reflection is good, but at least my lips are shining, right? Try to make up some, and I forgive myself if the makeup wasn't perfect, right? What do we do with that anyway? So yeah, it's all about forgiveness today. This is TherapistMAG talks. That's how I have decided to call these talks. I would try to do on Sundays on this page, right? Facebook Live, because yeah, I mean, you can use all platforms you want. So I could upload some videos on YouTube, I could do some on Facebook Live, I could write, I could sing, I could anything I want to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to hold myself to some kind of standards that could make me bash myself up if I don't meet up, or bash other people up if they, for one reason or the other, either fell short. Maybe they said they will help me and they don't help me, or they will love me and they don't love me as well, or they take advantage of me. This is life, right? We live, we hurt people, people hurt us, and we plan, we fail, we struggle, there are challenges, obstacles, and all of that. What do we do? And I was really just thinking about forgiveness a lot this week. And yeah, last year I did a live video on forgiveness, and so I'm actually just recycling. Sometimes you just keep saying things over and over, you use different experiences, the message goes across, you don't know who is going to be listening this time, who wants to, whose mental health is actually fragile now or being challenged because of some incident they're not able to process, they're not able to deal with, maybe some hurt they're carrying and they cannot forgive. And sometimes they think forgiveness is about the other person, they forget about their own self, and they carry that pain in them. And you know how pains can fester, and before you know it, you're developing some cancer, you're developing some high blood pressure, you're developing some kind of self-hate and hate for other people and for life in general. I mean, you can even get fed up and want to take your own life. Just started as something you couldn't let go, you couldn't forgive. The other day I was reading a post in a group I belong to, and someone asked the question, if it was easy to forgive a partner, an intimate partner, who is not sorry or who is not taking consciousness of what they have done to you. And I said, forgiveness for me is a gift I give to myself. I think there's too much sun. Let me see if I can. I wanted to sit out here because, yeah, I also need some sun, although not too much. Yeah, I was saying that forgiveness for me is a gift I give to myself. And so it's seriously not about the other person. It's about me liberating myself. And of course, me making peace with myself. Me forgiving my own self. Me telling myself, well, you did blunder, girl, but, well, that's life. And instead of carrying that grudge, that guilt, that shame, that embarrassment, all of that, you can just say, I forgive you. You call your own name, and then you say, okay, and I give you the permission to start again today. This is my day month. And once the idea of doing weekly live videos on this page came up, I said, well, yeah, there, it doesn't matter how it goes, what happens in the end, what the feedback and all of that. Just do it. And if it doesn't work out as well as you were looking at, well, just forgive yourself. Actually, you learned something. And I want to share with you some very personal things about forgiveness in my own life, and I hope it inspires and motivates and encourages somebody to really think about forgiving other people too. themselves and other people. Of course, it's very important to forgive yourself, first of all. I wrote a post this morning on Facebook and said, sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for being so foolish. That's the truth about it. There are times we found ourselves in situations, and later on down the road we ask ourselves, how did I get into this situation? You get into a relationship and you end up being so emotionally drained and so tapped into and faded and so like, oh my goodness. And then one day you decide to look at yourself in a mirror and you said, Mag, how did you find yourself in this relationship in the first place? And that was what I had to ask myself when I was giving up on my marriage in 2011 after 6 years. What am I saying? Sometimes it's easier to forgive others than to forgive oneself. And sometimes it is the reverse. In my case, it was the reverse, but I have been able to embrace both and practice same now with spectacular speed and results. It takes a lot of time, right? But the good thing is once you get it, like once you get the formula, it's like you don't run away from feelings. For example, not too long ago, I was feeling like there I was going into another relationship again, being emotionally available, and the person wants more, who is emotionally unavailable. And I was like, okay, well, that was just yesterday. I forgave myself for being foolish once again. So, yeah, I didn't get so emotionally involved. There was nothing and all of that, but I was like, what were you even getting to that point where you'll be looking at your phone and seeing there's a message and trying to call before you don't do it, trying to type that message? What came over you, right? So when I left my marriage in 2011, although I had been grossly abused, raped, and my stuffs later burnt, my biggest rage was against myself for getting married in the first place and for sinking so low in that marriage to the point of committing adultery and attempting suicide while 5 months pregnant. My life was one big mess and I blamed myself so much. But before I left, it dawned on me I couldn't progress one bit in life if I didn't forgive myself, to be free to face the future with faith. I then gradually started to forgive my ex-husband, and I did this video. I did it the first time in 2019. So I said that, and last year, that means in 2018, on the 7-year mark of the irretrievable breakdown of that union, I forgave him of any last grievances publicly, so as to hold myself publicly accountable and to use that as an opportunity to help inspire and motivate someone. That's how I did it, right? Sometimes you might just say it in private, I forgive you, and sometimes it's difficult to even forgive and really live in that forgiveness. So for me, when I say it publicly, it's like I can't take it back, and yes, I hold myself accountable to it. Okay, and I do that so that I can also use my own personal experiences to inspire, motivate, and encourage. That's my purpose in life anyway. So I want to live it to the fullest. So it's not easy to forgive, especially when the issues are still fresh, that I know. But seriously, forgiveness frees you tremendously. I really try to encourage all those I work with, either as a lawyer, psychotherapist, or founder of the association Hope for the Abused and the Battered, to get there. Vengeance belongs to the Lord. That's what Christians and people of faith like myself say. So it is something that you have to decide. I have had enough. I can't continue feeling this way about myself, even if it's about another person. But look at what you are doing to yourself. And look at what you've done to yourself. For example, you got into that relationship, you put yourself up to be trashed and untrashed, abused and used and all of those things. So forgive yourself and stop waiting and trying to change this person or get them to change and to start treating you nicely or differently, and you keep saying, I'll give this thing another chance. What about giving yourself that chance? What about taking yourself out of that toxic situation, forgiving yourself for even getting there in the first place, because you didn't even get there knowing that it was going to be that way, right? So it's not really your fault, but at least you got there, and when you started seeing the signs, you stayed there. So what you do now is, when you finally get out, you forgive yourself for that process, and then you now say, I am free to give meaning to this whole process, to learn from it, to do something with it even, and then to move on. It could be with your child, it could be with your parent, any situation where there is bitterness, where there is frustration, where there is hopelessness, where there is all kinds of ambiguity and all of that, where you can't understand who you are anymore, or why you are doing the kind of things you are doing. I could not believe growing up that I was going to get married someday and commit adultery, because my whole idea of marriage was of some sacred and sanctimonious institution. You don't get in there and fool around, but that's exactly what I did. Got in there and fooled around. So no, I had to leave at some point. But how will I live with myself for all the years to come if I don't forgive myself for being such, what we call in our local parlance, mugu? You know, I once watched something on YouTube, some Kenyan program, and then they usually bring a therapist who talks about things, or a counselor or stuff. He talks especially about relationships. We know how relationships are really giving people a lot of headache. Maybe not only these days, but I don't know. So the host asked him what he thinks is the reason why people come into your lives, walk out, and then come back again. And so he said they come back because they want to see if you are still foolish. And when I wrote my first memoir, I remember saying in there that giving somebody a second chance, if I break up with you and I say I am done, I don't want second chance, because second chance might end up even more painful than the first time. And I say this because I once had a boyfriend and really loved him so much, and then we broke up for one reason or the other, and then maybe 6 months down the line we got back together. The second breakup was so devastating. I told myself, no more. If I get to that point where I say I'm done, I'm done, come back, do whatever, forgive and forget, yes, but not getting back into my life. That's why I have a large threshold of tolerance. I have. But it's kind of reducing nowadays, because I passed that age where you want to fool around and be tolerating too much and growing old and having wrinkles and all of that stress and all of that. No. But I used to really tolerate, because, well, I was also brought up that way now, the Christian way, the good girl way, and all of those things. So I had to get to a point to forgive myself for even having contrary views, for looking at things otherwise, for not wanting any more crap in my life, especially emotional wise, relationship wise. Like, no, I mean, seriously, I don't want any more crap in my life. And if somebody cannot be straightforward and we cannot communicate, and I can't know what exactly I'm looking at, then I'm not even bothering myself. Actually, I'm just forgiving myself for even investing some slight emotions, thinking that this thing could. Because I'm a human being, right? We all have those emotions and everything. But once I do that, I've actually told myself 3 days grieving period over any relationship, a death, all of that. I know some might be more than these 3 days, but for the time being, I've been able to really keep 3 days as my grieving allowance. I have 3 days. I took that decision last year and I've been able to keep it. 3 days, I mean, to a 90% level, right? That's some that no, 3 days are not enough. But for the most part, because I have that power to forgive myself, and of course to forgive the other person, to release them, let them carry their balok and go, and then you keep your freedom, keep your peace of mind, learn your lessons, and then, well, do better next time. So that's what I wanted to share with us. Well, are you struggling with forgiveness? If you are, and maybe you need help, professional one, to be more sure of the process and the outcome, therapy is a laudable option. Do not suffer in silence. Reach out and get the help you need. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm in Douala, Cameroon. I work with people online and offline, right? So you can contact me via my website at www.mariabanga.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload videos there every other week, twice a week. I don't know. Yeah. Click the notification bell so you don't miss. You get notified each time I upload a video, I post a video. Like and share, because you just never know who might also need that. Okay, so the link is there, and I also have a Facebook page called TherapistMAG, and so the link is also there. And then Instagram, I am magnetic, and the Instagram link is also there. So, well, basically those are the main ones. I'm also on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, all of those things, but I just forgive myself when I can't keep up with all of them, and I have to swap this one this week, next week this other one, and stuff like that. Okay, well, until next Sunday for the sharing, hoping I'm not going to be as tired, because last night I hung out with my girlfriends again, because we did that on Friday too. So when the brain is used to sleeping at night, now you want to force it to sleep in the morning or in the afternoon. It kind of resists a little bit, and that's just psychologically normal. Okay, so until then, right, and reach out to me even if you just want to talk. That's not going to be a paid session. I'm not that really money inclined, but I know that would be a good thing to use the sense in my head to talk to people and to share. I really appreciate those who are going to watch later. I appreciate those who share. I appreciate those who above all leave feedback. I went for one event, and when I was asked my feedback, my impressions, I didn't have any to give, because, well, at some point I had kind of just lost track, and I was tired and everything. So I can also understand that sometimes some people can watch when they're tired, when they've lost track and all of that, or think that, well, their feedback doesn't really matter, so what's the big deal and all of that. But I'm here to tell you, everything matters. Okay, well, until next Sunday, I'm yours, Maria Abanga. Please take care of yourself, and God bless us all.